Today, I want to talk to you about the 8 mistakes real estate investors make over and over again. And listen, it's not limited to just 8, trust me. But these are the 8 that I see all the time. And the first one is not starting earlier. I cannot tell you how many times I've talked to potential real estate investors and find out that they've been studying real estate investing for years. In fact, they think they know as much as I do by this point. They've spent thousands and thousands, perhaps even $10,000 on going to seminars and workshops and tape sets and all these other kinds of things. And yet they still don't have a rental property. I'm not sure if people completely get it though. The biggest advantage of real estate investing is time. During that time, your tenants are paying off your principal. During that time, the economy keeps going up generally. The last 5 years has been a little bit bumpy, no doubt, but generally you get growth in real estate. It hedges against inflation. So get started today. Quit going to seminars. Find yourself a good agent that understands real estate investing and buy a rental property now. Don't wait any longer. Retirement's not waiting for you, so you need to get moving. Another mistake I see real estate investors make all the time is failing to have a plan. You've got to have a plan in anything you do in life in order to get to the goal that you want to reach. So make a plan and follow the plan and make that plan work. Some of the things you might want to consider: plan on finding an agent that actually understands real estate investing. How many properties do you want to buy this year? How many properties will it take to get you the income that you need to have that retirement worth having? The plan doesn't have to be complicated, folks, but let's make a plan before we start. So another huge mistake that potential real estate investors make is working with an agent that doesn't understand rental property. Listen, there are house agents out there, and my gosh, they're really good at what they do. They help you find your primary home. They help you sell your primary home. But that's not necessarily the agent you want helping you build your retirement through rental properties. What you need is an agent, at the very least, that owns their own rental property. That maybe an agent that manages a few properties, or preferably a real estate agent that specializes in real estate investing. A house agent is not going to be able to give you the perspectives and the experiences of an agent that's owned their own rental property. What to look out for, what little signs in the neighborhood that you need to be aware of. You need to think about working with a real estate agent that understands what you're looking to accomplish. Believe me, this is going to make a world of difference in the properties you end up with. Lack of a clearly defined criteria is definitely mistake number 4. A lot of times people want me to go out and meet them to show them duplexes when what they really need is single family homes. They don't know whether they're looking for 2 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms. They don't know whether they're looking for ranch houses or 2-story houses. You need to understand what it is you're looking for that's going to kick off the kind of returns that you need to get you to the retirement worth having that you so desperately want. Clearly define your criteria before you even pick up the phone to talk to an agent about going out and looking at some properties. Now, you may want to talk to the agent about helping you define that criteria, but let's not go out and look at properties until we know what's going to get you to where you need to go. Define your criteria. It'll save you a lot of time and a lot of heartache. Number 5, underestimating expenses. And wow, I could talk about this one all day long. I cannot tell you how many would-be real estate investors, and especially house agents, don't understand how much money it takes to maintain and properly keep a rental property going. Yeah, there's the property, there's the property taxes, the insurance, the principal, the interest. There are, minor maintenance, expenses that you might not have considered, but don't forget HOA. Don't forget, all the other kinds of insurance that you might want to have on the property. The accounting, the signs, the property management. There are literally dozens and dozens and dozens of expenses that people routinely don't think of. Hey, what about that roof? Look at that roof. It's only got about 8 or 9 years left. Well, if you're going to own the property 10 years, guess who's replacing the roof? Are you accounting for that in your expenses so that when you get to that day when you have to replace the roof, it's coming out of your rental property checkbook and not your personal checkbook? Don't underestimate your expenses. Make sure you work with an agent that can help you know what to expect for that kind of property and that kind of neighborhood and that kind of city. These are all going to be variants in how many expenses you should expect. So make sure that you look at your expenses and you're realistic about them. Don't be overly crazy about it either. I mean, don't nix out every property, but definitely account for your expenses. Number 6 is not taking the time to find a really, really good property manager. Listen, for a lot of you, you're planning on managing your homes yourself, and that's great. You just need to go look in the mirror and figure out if everything's getting done that needs to be getting done. But for a lot of you, especially if you own properties out of state, you need a property manager that will tell you exactly what he's going to do and then do exactly what he said he was going to do. Property management can make or break your rental property and therefore your future retirement. A good property manager is worth his weight in gold. Pay him well. But a bad property manager will cost you literally thousands and thousands of dollars each and every year. So I'm not going to get into fees and all those other kinds of things because that's going to vary from market to market and property manager to property manager. What I am going to tell you is that you need to have a property manager that you can trust, and then you need to check up on that property manager every once in a while. I'm amazed at how few people ever call and ask us to verify some of the numbers on the properties that we manage. I'm dealing with, in some cases, tens and tens of thousands of dollars for a single client, and yet they've never come in to audit us. Listen, we don't mess around with a single person's nickel, but I can tell you of many horror stories here in the Kansas City area where property managers have stolen and stolen and stolen from owners, either through work that was never done, misbilling, billing the wrong client for the wrong thing. Listen, mistakes happen, but a good property manager can correct those mistakes right away, and he can only correct them if he knows they exist. So find a property manager you can trust. Take a lot of time to do this, but then still feel free to check up on him. It could be very good for you and your property. Number 7 would definitely be being too cheap to find a good CPA. You need to find a good CPA. Listen, every year I like to get the tax software, the best tax software out there, and do my own taxes to a certain degree. And then I'm always amazed when I get my taxes back from the CPA who I give them to for real, the difference in what he gets me and what the tax software gets me. A CPA can help you with your planning, and he can definitely help you with the assets that you already have in play. Get yourself a good CPA. All right, so the last of the 8 mistakes that we've been talking about today that real estate investors commonly make is not having enough cash reserves. Listen, nowadays the banks and the mortgage companies want you to have about 3 months in reserve so that they can make sure that they're going to get paid. But I would make sure that you're going to get paid. I would keep 4 to 6 months in reserve if you possibly can. I don't want you to spend every dime you have on rental property. You need to understand that there could be emergencies down the road. You could have a hardship as far as your income goes. I hate to have you sell and go through all the expenses of selling because you didn't have enough cash reserves to run through a little low tide. So keep money in the bank for those emergency times, for those rainy days. You'll be glad you did. So there you have it. I've been working with real estate investors since 2002, and those are the 8 most commonly made mistakes of the real estate investor, especially the newbies. So pay close attention to those 8 mistakes, identify where you may be struggling, and get some professional help, whether it's through me or another real estate agent that really understands residential property investing. Listen, my name is Chris Lengquist. I'm with Keller Williams Realty Diamond Partners, Inc. out here in Kansas City. Not only do I help people buy and sell real estate here in Kansas City, I own a property management firm here that works in the Kansas City area, and I do real estate coaching, one-on-one coaching over the phone if I can be of service to you. Look me up, give me a call, 913-568-1579. I'd love to help. Good luck to you.